Howdy. Welcome to my Design Dev Diary. I have had a couple of new subscriptions lately, subscribers lately into my channel and following me on Twitter. And I know some of them are interested in my handwriting plugin. Some of them are interested in the project card plugin for Obsidian that I posted on Reddit recently. There's probably 2 or 3 videos previously that I've done about that. But I've been working on this handwriting plugin for longer. Sorry, I was just checking the chat because it looked like it disconnected. But I've been working on this handwriting plugin for Obsidian longer. And both of these plugins I'm building because they're basically my own roadblocks. I like to work through different stages of creativity and working on different articles. I need to facilitate that. I find maybe it's procrastination, but also I really think a good set of tools and a good process really helps you speed up the efficiency of your writing and just get your actual creative ideas out rather than getting stuck in logistics and setup. So anyway, handwriting plugin, let's have a look at what it is. It's called Obsidian Ink. You can find it on GitHub under my account, Del De Silva Obsidian Ink. If I remember, I'll put a link into the stream. Let's jump to the screen. So here's an article that I put onto my blog, Falter in Resolute, which is a philosophy blog. So I'm just going to use that as a case study, not as a case study, but as a template to start with. And so let's have a look at what the handwriting plugin does. So let's say you're in here and you want to start handwriting, and this would be on iPad or on another tablet. But in this case, I'm screen recording, so I'm doing it on my desktop. Let me just check these screen settings because it's giving me an error in the stream. Hopefully it's not doing weird stuff. You know what, I'm just going to ignore it because it's always worked previously. So let's hope that it keeps working now. Okay, so let's say you want to add some handwriting in there because you're at your computer, you started the article, but now you're at a cafe and you have your iPad and pen and you want to keep going. So you just add a slash here because I'm using a plugin called /commander that makes it easy to add these in. But in the future, I'm going to add some additional options to make it really easy to start a handwriting section. And so you've got handwritten section and hand drawn section. The other ones are, well, those two are from the same plugin. Just duplicate last handwritten section and last duplicated hand drawn section. But let's add a handwriting section. And so in there, we get this one line that we can start writing on. And so I'm going to start writing, and I'm doing it with my mouse, so I'm not going to try and write anything real. But you'll notice as I write each line, it adds another line for me to write on. And you'll also notice it drops down everything below because this embedded section with the handwriting is resizing to accommodate whatever I write. So I can just scroll down and add something else. So let's say I'm making a list, checking it twice. Let's say I'm making a list and it's a bullet point list where I add things, and this is great because, and I've already found this so great to use because I'll make bullet point lists and then I might write a little bit about it, make another bullet point list about something else, and if I think of another thing for that first bullet point list, I can just come up and add it, and everything else moves down and I don't have to worry about it. So already it's so much nicer than some of the other things that are out there. Um, Even I used to use OneNote heaps, and OneNote has a tool that lets you add space, but you had to do it manually. So just having this has been a game changer for me. It just felt so different to writing in OneNote. And I was transitioning from OneNote to Obsidian, and I couldn't really start using Obsidian because I couldn't do a lot of the things I used to do, which was write by pen. I could try an Excalidraw, but it kind of got crippled very quickly and didn't really work very well with the pen in terms of latency and smoothing. So that's why I started building this, to solve that so that I could transfer over to Obsidian and take control and customize things the way I wanted. Anyway, OneNote didn't do this. I had to manually make space. Also, in OneNote, it's kind of halfway between a vertical thing and an infinite canvas. And the problem with an infinite canvas for handwriting is if you make space vertically, but you have content over somewhere else on the side, does it push all of that down, or does it keep it separate? How does it know how related the two columns are? So as much as I love infinite canvases, they have flaws for certain kind of processes. Now, that being said, what I've built here, now I'll freeze all these. They're in the future, they'll freeze automatically. When you make a new one, it'll freeze these. And what that freeze is actually doing is it's taking a screenshot of the thing and embedding it as an image. And it only becomes live when you click on it and click edit. But if I freeze those, what I've got here is, let's do this one. I've got a few buttons. Edit, which lets me edit it in place. But I also have duplicate. If I duplicate it, it's duplicated the file in the background because it actually links to another file, which if I open up, I'll see an ink folder and it's in here. So it's duplicated that file. But it doesn't know where I want to put that duplicated file. So actually I want to put it at the bottom. So that's where these other commands come in. Last duplicated handwritten section. So now I can add that in there, and I've got a new thing here that is separate to the one up here because it got duplicated. Now, I was talking about infinite canvases. So even though this is designed to work within a markdown file, I kind of wanted to keep that idea of if you needed to, you had an infinite canvas. So if I click on this, and instead of editing it here, I click open, it opens that handwriting file in its own window. It's replaced the window that was there, so I can go back. But if I open it, this is actually an infinite canvas. So I can scribble out here if I need to, and at the moment it automatically extends the page, which it shouldn't do. But I can treat it as an infinite canvas if I want to, say, write some stuff here and point to this. I can do so it can be a bit more freeform for me. But I might take this out. And a lot of people who just watched this and went, oh, that's amazing, we get the best of both worlds. You're probably saying, why the hell would you take this out? And that's because I want to approach the infinite canvas side of things in a slightly more systematic way later on down the roadmap. So it probably won't make it into launch, but later on down the line, it will probably come back in a very kind of considered way. because there are a lot of things I want to facilitate with the handwriting mode that will hinder me from doing. So if I look at how this handwriting works, there's lines drawn for you. I want people to write on the lines so that I can recognize what's a word and what's not, and what's a line and what's a paragraph, and start to offer the experience of having tools that are designed for handwriting but made for the digital world, like grabbing a word and moving it around and having words auto flow around that, being able to move paragraphs around, things like that. To do that, I need to know that the writing is within a certain section and on certain lines. And I'll learn if that's possible over time. It won't launch with that feature, but that's my goal. To do that, I can't have this infinite canvas that makes it infinitely more complicated going on. So that'll come back in later in a slightly different way. Adding to this, there's the handwriting, but there's also drawing. So because it wasn't difficult to build kind of a similar, I'm not sure what's going on with that text at the moment, but let's do it at the top. Because it's the same technology, I'm using TL Draw framework under the hood for this, which I won't be for the handwriting in the future. I might still do it for the drawing in the future, but for the handwriting, there's so many strokes that happen that TL Draw starts to cripple because it's vectors. So I need to use the canvas element to streamline it, and that'll be changed after launch, which means there'll be some issues when I first launch it in an alpha state, but it'll stop using the TL Draw framework because it doesn't work for this use case very well. But the draw mode probably will use the TL Draw framework, and because it works very similar to the handwriting mode at the moment, it's already implemented to some extent, so that gives you a big box that you can start drawing in, and it just treats those modes slightly differently, so that in the draw mode I can offer you tools that suit drawing, and in the handwriting mode I can offer you tools and aid that suits handwriting. So we've got kind of different colored pens, some other tools. I'll take out most of these tools and focus it on the pen tool in different sizes and different colors. Essentially simplifying it as much as possible so that over time I can add certain things in, but probably always keeping it quite simple because it's designed around freeform thinking, not really going into detail with editable diagrams and things like that. If you want to do non-destructive diagram making, use Excalidraw. That's what it's built for, and it's quite good. Hopefully they maybe create it and an embed version, live embed version as well, and then you kind of get the best of both worlds. But this tool will be about getting rid of the complexity and just working really nicely for pen use. But anyway, this gives you a drawing ability, and then it turns into an image when you freeze it, and also when you open it you get that infinite canvas, which in the drawing mode is actually quite important, because who knows what you want to draw and where it will extend to. So the infinite canvas in drawing mode will never go away. I hope, don't quote me on that, but if I go back, you'll see it's just expanded that drawing to fill expanded or shrunk that drawing to fit the canvas. Cool. This is getting pretty long, but let's jump over to another vault that I have in Obsidian. I have this page here where I was thinking about my project card plugin for Obsidian. And this is where I think Infinite Canvas crossed with a vertically scrolling page works really well, because in OneNote I would do this, or in Miro or in Figma, and I'm doing lots of different iterations of this design, this UI design. But with an infinite canvas, you don't really know, like, do you go down for forward progression in the ideas? Do you go across for forward progression in the ideas? Well, this makes it really clear because this page scrolls vertically. So I create a drawing and I draw my first design, and then I duplicate it and I modify that design. I paste it in the bottom and I modify that design. And you know, okay, this is my idea and my design iterating as I scroll down the page. I think this was me just testing it before. So let's delete that squiggle. And you can see how the design changes. Because it's a drawing thing, I can do whatever I want. So I've even added notes in there. They're not going to be recognized as text, but it's how I want to use it in this instance. And you can see the design changing over time. And of course, you can edit it on the spot here, or you can open it and you can zoom out and add more stuff. Whoops, add more stuff to this particular canvas before going back, and then it will just fit into that spot in the page. Let's remove that before I forget. So, handwriting plugin, drawing plugin, designed to help you kind of be as creative as you want, but still keep it within a structure, and to get out of your way when you're using a tablet. So that's it today. Well, I shouldn't say that's it. It was a really long one, but hopefully that's an interesting introduction to my handwriting plugin. Hope you like it. If you do, please follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. I post about this stuff. At the moment, I'm mostly posting on Twitter just my streams, because I haven't gotten the chance to record some video examples of this. But I will start doing so. So follow me on either or both, and you'll hear about my plugin development as it happens. And let me know if you want some sort of kind of mailing list so that you can hear as soon as I launch the plugin. But I haven't got one yet. So just reach out and let me know how much interest there is. Thanks.